You're most welcome to my channel, Smart Science. I would like to begin by thanking those who have trusted this channel over time as the best channel concerning chemistry and attending to the new curriculum and generally science at large. Today, I come to respond to different questions that were raised through my comment section on this channel. I have a follower by the name of Roman who shared a question through the comment section, and this video will try to respond to that. And before I jump into it, I request that for my viewers who have not yet subscribed, please tap the subscription button. Make sure you like the videos, and also you can submit your concern through the comment section so that all queries can be attended to as you wish. When we look at the question which was shared through the comment section, the question is assessed in the end of cycle assessment under the new curriculum in section B and in part 2 of this section. The question attacks natural resources and how they can be conserved, and basically they want us to come up with a presentation that can clearly respond to concerns of this question. Before you make up any write-up of such a task, try to reflect on what we call the basis of assessment. And as you are handling this basis of assessment, we look at the pillars, 4 main pillars onto which a learner should respond to this question. Number 1, we are talking about natural resources, and these natural resources can be categorized. So before you attack or give me a response, tell me the category of natural resources. And when you look at our question, these natural resources have been generally addressed. They have not specified any natural resource as per the question. So we shall look at the 2 categories of natural resources. We give reasons as to why we categorize them in that format. And then we proceed by giving a few examples of some of these natural resources. Number 2, we have to look at the composition of the natural resources we have, composition of natural resources. So the few we shall be able to capture, we shall look at their composition, and then we will prepare a mind of whoever we are communicating to in our presentation to know that what should I be expecting to obtain from this natural resource. Then we look at their social benefits. How important are they to the society? And lastly, we shall look at the impact of the natural resource, how it occurs, the impact, its occurrence, and then lastly, how can it be mitigated. So basically, this is what we're going to be looking at as a response to a question posted in my comment section on this channel. And at this moment, I think we can now jump into it, and we see how best should have responded to the question. As a learner, I expect all my learners out there who are following this channel to put up a table concerning this. You draw clearly a table, and this table should show us the basis you are responding to, the basis of assessment you are responding to, and then the kind of responses you are going to give. The responses. I request that whoever is out there, colleagues in the teaching profession who are out there following this channel, I request that let us advocate for this kind of presentation of work, because it makes a student's response very easy to attend to. Even it eases your marking time. So the basis, according to what a learner should do, is to begin with category, just like we saw, category of natural resources. And at this moment, for any chemist, you will be knowing that there are two categories of natural resources. Number one are renewable. So you can say renewable natural resources. For any identity, please attach a reason. Why should we call some natural resources renewable natural resources? So you go ahead and say because they can be, replaced in man's lifetime, can be replaced. Actually, let us change this a little bit and say can be replaced during man's lifetime, man's lifetime, after use. That the moment you use it, it can be easily replaced within limited time. Examples here include things like air, that if you breathe in air, you take in the oxygen. Within no time, you're going to replace it with carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide will be trapped by plants. Then through photosynthesis, the oxygen will be replaced. So you can watch this cycle happen when you're still alive. There are things like water. Water is also a renewable natural resource. So that is one category we expect. When you attack the other category, it incorporates the non-renewable natural resources. As a student of mine, I expect more examples here, although I've only given two, but I'm adding on things like forests, things like soil. Soil is also replaceable. I believe you can add on so much more. Among the non-renewable natural resources, these ones are called non-renewable because they can't be easily replaced, cannot be easily replaced during man's lifetime. During man's lifetime after use. And for colleagues who are out there, I believe more answers will be added, but you can think about things like rocks. The time taken to replace a rock is so much compared to the time taken to replace air. Think about things like crude oil. Think about others. You can talk about carbon-based fuels, e.g. We have things like coal, among others. So they take a longer period of time. When you look at crude oil formed by a process of fossilization, fossilization is not a single day or a single year process. It takes very many years to occur. Then fossil fuels cannot be called renewable natural resources. However much they can be replaced, but it is very, very hard to see it being replaced when you're still alive, because fossilization takes millions and millions of years. So with that, I will believe that as a learner, you will be done with the first basis of assessment, which is category of the natural resource. That means you will continue with your response, and you will target the second basis of assessment, which is composition of the natural resource. Composition of the natural resource. I believe here we've listed quite a number of examples, and you will allow me capture some of them. I look at their compositions so that as we are answering, can easily flow and know where each falls. If I'm attacking air, I will say air is a mixture of gases. For any chemist, you know that a mixture contains components that are physically combined. So you can talk about those ones, e.g. oxygen, and we all know that oxygen occupies relatively 21% of air. There is carbon dioxide. These are some of the well-known components of air. At 0.03, there is nitrogen, which is at around 78%. We have water vapor, which is having a variable composition. And then we have rare gases, which is at around 0.97%. These rare gases are many, and as a learner, to enrich you with more and more information, think about gases like helium, think about gases like argon, think about gases like neon. These are some of the examples of rare gases we know that are part of air. So they become natural resources. The other is water. If I'm to talk about water, I would say water is a compound. That means water contains elements that are chemically combined, a compound of hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Hydrogen and oxygen atoms with a formula of H2O. That one becomes the chemical formula of water. I can talk about the compositions of the others. For example, forests. These ones are made up of plants, plant species, some are composed of mainly carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Somebody else will say mainly composed of polymers like starch, cellulose, among others. And we all know that these two being carbohydrates, they contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So the learner who comes up with such a composition will have no challenge in that. I'm going to continue addressing more and more of these examples I've given. I will continue with composition of rocks. If I'm to talk about rocks, what will I communicate to any chemist out there that addresses the composition of rocks? I'll say that rocks, if I'm talk about them, are aggregates. Rocks are aggregates of minerals like graphite. They contain basalt, minerals like limestone, diamond, among others, as long as you give us at least two of the compositions. If I look at crude oil, talking about its composition, I'll say that crude oil is a mixture of alkanes, which include I can talk about them: petrol, diesel, kerosene, bitumen, gasoline, natural gas, lubricating oil, among others. So generally, composition of natural resources should attack what makes up a particular natural resource. Then this is number 3. We'll go ahead and attack social benefits. Social benefits. Each natural resource suggested automatically has an importance, and therefore, as a chemist, you should try to understand the importances of some of these natural resources. If I look at natural resource known as water, this one is going to be found in things like rivers, lakes, swamps. Can think about oceans, seas, among others. So we can give you a scenario that shows a swamp. Swamp will automatically have some plant material, and then it will have water. So you look at the support given, and you assess which kind of natural resources have been attacked. Among the benefits of natural resources, these ones are very many. Allow me give at least 2 for each natural resource, so that we can move along faster. Importances of or social benefits of air as a natural resource, I'm writing them in pink. Air, we all know that it drives windy mills to generate electricity. I believe that one is a social benefit. We all know that air is a source of oxygen, for respiration, carbon dioxide, source of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, source of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, source of rare gases for making bulbs. We know that it is a source of nitrogen, for the Haber process. For those who don't know the Haber process, a process by which we form ammonia gas, very important in manufacture of nitrogen fertilizers. We also know that there are a lot of other functions we can give for air, because equally there are very, very many. However, allow me capture one more. Air is a medium for locomotion, in birds. I think we should agree with that. Medium of gaseous exchange, in the organisms, with the lungs. So those are some of the few social benefits of air I can give. Black indicates social benefits of water. One will say water is used for domestic. Water is used for domestic work, like can be cooking, can be washing, among others. We also know that water is used to generate hydroelectricity, used to drive machines. We continue and know that water is a habitat. For animals. You can even continue to say aquatic animals, like fish. So these are quite very, very many. Allow me talk about importances of other natural resources. I'm continuing with forests. I'm putting them in green. We all know that forests are habitats for wild animals, therefore promote tourism. Two, we all agree that they provide raw materials for manufacture of things like drugs, and those are the local herbs provided by forests, and so many others. So they are a source of raw materials, generally important in the water cycle. Very important in the water cycle. So forests are equally good to us. When you look at rocks, can be used as building materials, e.g. hardcore, gravel, among others. Act as ores for extraction of metals, e.g. hematite for iron extraction. There are so many others. The weather to form soil. So you can exhaustively handle all this and call it the social benefits. As a learner, I expect you to look at social benefits of having things like crude oil, among others. Lastly is actually we are tackling the very last basis of assessment, which is the impact and its mitigation. Impact and its mitigation. Now, when you look at the scenario here, the scenario has not looked at generally ways. It has not suggested any particular way through which natural resources may be degraded. Therefore, in our response, we must give some of those ways, how they occur, and then provide an advice to the community of how to stop such cases. Number one, we all believe that discharge of untreated sewage into water bodies causes water pollution. Get it? Which may result into high spread of waterborne diseases. That is an impact, human activity on a natural resource. So you come on and say this can be controlled or minimized, controlled by treating sewage before discharge. Into water bodies. Just like you can see the role of Bugolo sewage treatment plant is to purify and treat this sewage before they release the sewage back into Lake Victoria. And when you look at deforestation, destructs forests, which causes exposure of soil to agents of erosion, reducing soil fertility. So how can we regulate this one? You suggested a way this can be minimized, by afforestation or reforestation, or making forests restricted areas. That is part of the impact. Then we can think about things like charcoal burning, and combustion of fossil fuels emits toxic gases into air, causing air pollution, that may result into global warming and desertification. So how can a member mitigate this one? Come here and say controlled by using environmental friendly sources of energy. Can even give an example, e.g. solar energy, solar energy. So I believe this approach can give you a better understanding of the question you shared with me in response to Roman as my subscriber. And for colleagues out there, please continue subscribing to Smart Science. Watch, comment, and in case of any concern, please share with us so that we can respond to you. For those who would like to actually know who Smart Science is, I'll be sharing more videos with you so that you clearly understand Smart Science. Thank you for viewing. I wish you all the best.